The Cram Fire is burning in central Oregon, close to 96,000 acres in size. It's the country's largest wildfire so far this year. As of this morning, it's 77% contained, but if it grows to 100,000 acres, it would be classified as a megafire. Experts say megafires are becoming increasingly more common as some link them to climate change. Let's get some more insight by welcoming Craig Clemens to the 9, a meteorology and climate science professor, director of the Wildfire Interdisciplinary Research Center at San Jose State. Thanks for being with us, Professor.
Thanks for having me.
So first, I think a lot of people don't think in acres, so we'll note that a megafire is about half the size of New York City. The amount of forest area burned every year in the western U.S. has about tripled since the 80s. What are the factors increasing the frequency of megafires?
Well, climate change definitely has its fingerprints on this increase in fire size over the last decade and plus. So when we think about climate change, we think about hot weather, dry fuels, and changing conditions. So that's really what's driving these larger fires.
Do you expect to see, I wish I could knock on wood. We've been, for the most part, lucky here, specifically in the Bay Area. We haven't seen any of those monster fires we saw going back to 2017 and years after that. What do you think is happening here where we live?
Well, this season, we've been pretty lucky in the Northern California Bay Area, particularly because of this onshore flow. The marine layer has been very present. We've had this low pressure that's over us, that's keeping us cooler than, it's unseasonable cooler this year. So that's really helped us. But we still are just getting into the peak of fire season with August and September. And so as the weather changes, we could see maybe potentially larger fires.
The term megafire is a little bit controversial. Not everybody loves it. What do you think of kind of the branding of what's happening?
Well, it's come up in the last few years because we've seen these larger and larger fires. We generally consider a large fire 5,000 or 10,000 acres and above, and that's pretty small in today's standards. So the National Interagency Fire Centers started using this term megafires for anything over 100,000. Right. And to give you some statistics, basically we've had 35 megafires in California alone since 2000. So, and in the last 5 years, we've had over 10 of our largest wildfires. So we're seeing an increase in a lot of these larger fires or megafires.
The Cram Fire is burning in a relatively unpopulated area of central Oregon. In some ways, fire can be good. Is that the case there?
Yeah, generally we want fire on the landscape because it removes fuels, it's good for the ecosystems, and so it can be very beneficial. And so in the Cram Fire area, if it's burning at low intensity, not like very hot, meaning high intensity flames, large flames that are causing the trees, the fire to crown in the trees, so if it's taking out the shrubs and the lower vegetation, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Do you have spots in the Bay Area that you and your fellow professors are watching most nervously?
Well, we're looking at all the areas. So our team at San Jose State, we have a network of fire danger weather stations. So we're constantly monitoring the weather conditions in the Bay Area. We also do fuel sampling, and we also are modeling the conditions in the future. So we're basically monitoring day to day the conditions around the Bay Area.
And finally, for people who have their go bag ready, have the place they're going to meet in case we need to be evacuated, that sort of thing, how should we be thinking about wildfires now?
Well, I think people need to be aware that we are in a fire season. Even though it's cool right now, we're very lucky, but it can change. Fires are driven by day-to-day weather. So if it's cool one day, we may not have the potential for a large fire to ignite. But as it gets warmer, we have a heat wave, it can definitely change. And if we have a wind event, so a windy day, that can also create the conditions that'll be more dangerous. So people just need to be aware of the weather and aware of the risk.
Yeah, that North Bay firestorm in 2017 was, well into October, and we've seen destructive fires well past that. We'll have to leave it here. Professor Craig Clemens from San Jose State, thank you for your time and expertise today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.